Hey, welcome to the Stephanie Stevens Show, where I help you discover the power of communication and the keys that unlock the doors to freedom in every area of your life. Well, hello, my dear sweet friends. So glad to be sharing time with you. Thank you, as always, for making the time for me and creating the space for our time together, no matter what it is that you're doing. I'm just glad to be a part of your day. This is the Stephanie Stevens Show podcast. I'm Stephanie Stevens, and we talk about lots of things in life, including ways to be better and more efficient communicators, because really communication is the key that unlocks the doors to freedom in any and every area of your life. And it doesn't have to be exclusively verbal communication. There are lots of forms of communication, and we talk about all sorts of things like that. Just looking to grow and expand together. Thank you for sharing this podcast. Thank you so much for subscribing also. And if you'd rate it, that would be simply amazing. That way, amazing people like you will be able to find us, and we will continue to grow our amazing community. So today I wanted very quickly to come to you with a simple question. When is now a good time? Isn't that a fun one? When is now a good time? So this is something that a man by the name of James Allen used to say in his books and in his face-to-face appearances. And James Allen is one of these guys back in kind of the days of, remember the movie and the book, The Secret, and all those kinds of laws of attraction types of teachings. James Allen was one that wrote a book that I ended up reading back then. Even before that time, I had found him, I can't remember how, but his book came to my attention and I read it. And he said in there many times, when would now be a good time to? And that was kind of his catchphrase. So it's not mine original, it's James Allen. Now, James Allen got in legal trouble years ago for something that happened out in Arizona at one of his conferences. So I am not here to endorse him. Okay, let's be clear. I'm not here to endorse him, but I need to give credit where credit is due for that saying, because I'm going to use it a couple of times here throughout the podcast. Okay, so it just simply goes like this. When would now be a good time to, and then you get to fill in that blank. What I will tell you that is mine and original is I often say, how about now? Or when is now? When is now literally means every time we think about something we are going to do, when in our minds do we plan to do it? Right? We usually say later when I've got time, after I'm done this, when I finish with that, when the kids are a little bit older, when I switch jobs, when I find that new living situation that I want, when. Notice when is never now. When is never the present moment. And by the way, life will teach you, if you haven't learned it already, now is the only thing that exists. So what I have found to be incredibly effective is when you have the energy and the internal inspiration to do something, hit while that iron is hot, okay? That is when you strike. I'll give you a couple of examples. If you've got a list of to-do things, okay, and one of the things on your to-do list is spend 10 minutes meditating and contemplating and praying or something along those lines. Or maybe it's more, maybe it's 30 minutes or more. You've got that on the list of things to do. You've got a couple of emails you know need to be sent. You have to get something done for work. You promise so-and-so a phone call back. You've got to register for this. You got to get online and pay for that, right? All of those things. Now, if you try to schedule those things out through the day, it's going to feel like everything that you do is a chore, because that's what you've delegated it as. You've created a task list of tasks, okay? Now, that's not uncommon. I have a running list all the time. What I stopped doing a while ago is I stopped scheduling those items during the day. Because I'll be honest with you, there are mornings that I get up and I am more energetic than other mornings. And I will utilize that energy and that synergy, and I will strike while the iron is hot. I will take the dog on a walk early. You know, if it's a day where I've got a couple hours I can set aside, I will get to the lawn work, but I will do it literally when the energy or the iron or the urge strikes internally in that moment, because your energy will ebb and flow during the course of any day. This has to do with your diet, your sleep cycles, and your daily routine. But even at work, when you know you've got a list of items or things that need to be done in a list of priority for work, hit the ones that you feel most motivated to do in that moment of time, because you'll get them done quicker. And then the other things in the list of priority can fall into line accordingly. But there's something really powerful about when you have the urge to do something, instead of staving it off until later when you actually have more allocation of time for that, just jump in and do that thing, because you'll do it with more energy, you'll do it with more focus, and you will do it with more intention if you've got it in your head and in your mind in that moment, because the urge is there to do it. Okay. It makes it easier. It makes it easier. If I say I'm going to need to mow the lawn and I'm going to need to get that done at 3:00, well, that would be a horrible time, wouldn't it? Middle of the day, hottest. But let's pretend that that's what my schedule allowed for the day. And that was the only time of day I was going to be able to schedule it for. If I get up in the morning and I'm feeling specifically energetic, I'm a little less tired than normal, I'm feeling a surge of energy, I tell you what, I will purposefully switch things around if at all possible. And I will jump out there and jump on that mower then, instead of waiting until later, because later on, chances are I'll be tired. I will be dragging. It will be the last thing I want to do at that time of day. So I'm encouraging you today to understand that when something comes in the forefront of your mind, or there's that urge or the energy to do something, do it. Do it. Otherwise, when is now? When is the opportune time? When you get the urge to make that phone call, do it then. Or chances are you'll forget, or you'll put it to later in the day, and then later in the day, you'll be tired, or your back hurts because you lifted something too heavy and you're just not in the mood anymore. Do these things as the energy provides, and I believe you will be shocked at how much more productive and how much more energy you can put into these things with joy. Instead of them being tasks, they can be joy-filled things, or things that you just, hey, I'm on go mode. I'm going to go, 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 go. Then when I start to feel my energy wane and my body wants to slow down and take a break, that's when I'm going to sit down then, and that'll do my emails or, check the voicemail or whatever the case may be. But I encourage you to just try this. Just try tapping in to the energy you have in the spur of that moment to really get something done. When the urge strikes, there's a reason. There's always a reason. That urge is there right in that split second or that moment. Take advantage of that instead of putting it off for later. And again, back to that saying, when is now? If we wait until later to do all of the kinds of things that are in our minds and our hearts to do, we will just simply never get them done. So have fun with this. I'm actually creating a format and a platform for us to communicate on some of this subject matter on Facebook. So if you are on Facebook, you can find me. Just opened the page. Really don't have a ton of content there yet, but I will be building and sharing and enjoying conversation. You can find me at The Stephanie Stevens Show on Facebook. All right, my friend, have a wonderful rest of your day, your night, your morning, your evening, and I cannot wait to connect with you on the next episode. Thanks so much for listening to The Stephanie Stevens Show. Please remember to subscribe so we can stay connected and you never miss an episode of the podcast. Oh, and if you haven't left a rating yet, please be sure to do so. It helps incredible people like you find the podcast. We'll see you on the next episode.